Hello and welcome to my studio. Here in my part of the world, we are in the middle of summer, which means heat and humidity. And as much as I love the outdoors and being outside and being in my garden and the blue skies, I am really a fall and spring person. I like 72 degrees, no humidity, and a cool breeze. I have had to acknowledge recently, really just be honest with myself and understand and acknowledge that I'm tired, really tired. And I know that that's true of all of us, of everyone who's alive right now on this planet, these massive changes that we're going through. If you are an empath, if you are highly sensitive, any of that stuff, then you know what I'm talking about. You're probably also really tired. There's a misconception, I think, about people who work creatively or work for ourselves or work from home. And I remember when I was going to a job at an office and working for someone else on someone else's timetable, I probably also held this misconception. But there's this idea that if you're doing something that you love, or you're doing something creative, or you're building your own business, that you somehow are in this place of complete freedom where you just do whatever you want, whenever you want. Or that you don't work as hard, I guess, is really what the misconception is that somehow you don't work as hard. And I can tell you, and I've said this from, I've been doing this in one form or another, working for myself for a long time. And I've been saying this from the very beginning. I work harder. I work so much harder than I ever worked when I worked for someone else, because it never goes away. It never turns off. It's when you go into an office, and obviously a lot of people have to bring their work home and have bosses who call them on their off hours, or a lot of people are on call. I acknowledge that. But for me, when I was working in an office situation, I had a start time and an end time. There were occasional overtime experiences, but for the most part, you go in, you do your tasks for the day, and then you go home. When you're working for yourself, when you are working creatively, when you are freelancing, when you are a contractor, whatever it is that you do, there is no manager. You are the manager. There is no time clock. You are the time clock. There is no start and end time. It's constant. It's like 24 hours a day. You are thinking about your work and putting in work and figuring out work. And so I can get exhausted without realizing what I'm doing, because I'm doing what I love. I'm doing my soul's work. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm in the world doing the work of me, doing the work that I was given to do, and that feels good. And so it's really easy for me to let myself get completely burned out and exhausted and not realize it until it's happened. And then I just look up one day and think, oh my God. So that's kind of where I've been recently. Still getting a lot done. Very, very grateful to have commissions coming in, and so grateful to do that work. So grateful to do soul care sessions. But also looking at, where do I need to take care of myself, and where do I need to just take time to rest, just take time to rest. So the thing is, everything is changing right now. Everything is changing right now. It's been frustrating to me. It can be frustrating to me when I see people looking to the past and thinking that the past is going to inform the future, that the way things have been done, the way things have always been, that we're somehow carrying that forward. because we're not. We are creating something new as a group, as a collective, and as individuals. We are going somewhere new. We are making new decisions. We are putting aside old structures, old systems, old things that don't work anymore, that haven't worked for a long time, or have worked but have been evil, have been bad. We're doing something new. And I think part of what's happening for all of us right now is examining, what have I been doing that does not work for me? What have I been doing that's actually harmful to me? What have I not been doing that I need to be doing? One of the old ideas, one of the old places of control where the dominant system has controlled us, is to tell us that we shouldn't take care of ourselves, that self-care is somehow selfish, that it's if you're taking care of yourself, you're just self-obsessed. You're not caring about other people. You're not worrying about other people. That we're not good as we are. That we're not whole. That we need other people, other systems, structures, organizations to tell us who we are, to tell us how to live, to tell us who to be. We've been disconnected from that voice of God that it lives within ourselves. We have been unplugged from our own hearts, from our own divine center. And when we take time to rest and recharge, when we go into that hermit mode, when we go into meditation, when we take a nap, when we take a walk, when we sit outside, when we have a whole day where we do nothing, we are able to reconnect with that divine wisdom, with that guidance that is within ourselves, with the self that we really are, with our true nature. It is so important, and it is not selfish. It's the only way. It's the only way that we can begin to be compassionate and caring about other people and about our society and our community. The only way that I can be of service to you is if I am first in service to myself. To get into what I need to take care of this body, this vessel, this spirit, this heart. If I am nourishing myself, if I am living in the way that I need to live for me, then I have the energy to live the way I need to live for you. I have the insight, I have the guidance, I have the wisdom. If I'm just outpouring, and I'm letting bad things happen to my body, and I'm letting bad things happen to my spirit, and I'm saying tomorrow I'll take care of myself, then I have nothing to, then I'm in confusion. Then I'm not in clarity. I don't have the energy I need to be a good person for you. This is a time when we are being asked to be like a tree that is deeply rooted and swaying in the wind, to be like a mountain, to stand our ground, to know what is right, and stand in what is right. And the only way that we have the energy to do that is if we are tending to our individual needs. Then we can flower out into the needs of the community. That's how we grow in this current situation that we're in. There is no sense in wishing that things were different, wishing that there was no pandemic, wishing that there was no less support for certain individuals who are in power, seemingly in power. It is what it is. This reality, this physical reality is what it is. And so now what we have to do is figure out how we are going to be in it, how we are going to be with it, and how we are going to change it. How are we going to cultivate a new world? And what does that new world look like? And it begins in your own heart, and it begins in taking care of yourself and listening to God, however it is that you conceive of God, or the name that you use for God, or what you call God, which is love. Listening to it in your heart, listening to God in your heart. You have this relationship with God, with the Holy Spirit, with the great all that is, with the unseen world. You do. You are being held in it. Information is coming to you. You are feeling it in your body. If you feel disconnected from that, it's because you're disconnected from who you really are, and you just need to come into your heart and get into that heart space and listen. You maybe have been taught not to listen. You've been unplugged. You've been disconnected. You can plug yourself back in. Plug yourself back in. Do the things that feel like plugging yourself back into spirit, plugging yourself back into God. However that looks for you. Don't let anybody else tell you what it is. Do it for yourself. If you feel like you need a little help with this, I have the Fill Up Your Cup course, which is now completely downloadable, and it's just a way for you to develop your own daily meditation practice and come in and hear that voice within you. You can find that on my website. I would love for you to begin that practice if you don't have it already. So let's say that I had so much money that I could give to people and causes that I care about, live in the way that I want to live, take care of my family, take care of my animals, travel, do everything I wanted to do with my life. I have so much money that I never would need to earn another dime. What would I do with my days? How would I spend my time? Would I still be doing the work that I do? Well, yeah, I would still be painting. I would write. I would travel. I would walk around in nature. These are things that I would do. The fact that I can do these things in service to you is an amazing blessing and gift. That I can do what I do naturally, what comes naturally to me, and do it in service to you. I can paint your prayers. I can create ebooks and courses that are helpful to you. I can write things that engage you. We can have a community. We can have a relationship. That's really what creative work is a relationship between the person, the creator, and the recipient. It happens in the middle between the two. And it's so beautiful and it's so amazing. So I feel extraordinarily lucky and fortunate to be able to do this, to do creative work and have money come in from creative work, because this is what I would do even if I didn't have to earn money, if I didn't need money. And doing what I love and doing what has been naturally born in me, as you know, I truly believe we come into these bodies, onto this planet with a mission and with gifts, and we have free will. And we can choose to develop those gifts or not. We can choose to go down this path or that path. But we come in with these things, with these potentials, with this plan. But doing what I love every day does not mean that I have an endless well of energy and that I never get worn out and never get tired or never get depleted. Working in these spiritual realms or in the realm of service does not mean that I am available 24 hours a day. It does not mean that I have to respond to things immediately. It doesn't mean that I have to give everything that's asked of me. That's old thinking. That's old control thinking. My work is in this beautiful relationship. It's in this organic, beautiful, moving relationship between me and God and you. And we're all flowing and moving in it together. I'm so grateful for it. It's amazing. I love it. It's life-giving. I love it. But that doesn't mean that I don't also need sometimes to take a step back and take care of myself. And the same is true for you, no matter what it is that you are doing. Keeping house, raising children, going to an office job, going to a retail job, going to a service job, working for yourself, doing freelance work. anything that you're doing. Anything that you're doing. Doesn't matter if you love that thing or you hate that thing. It's part of your mission, it's not part of your mission. It's something you want to continue to do, it's something you don't want to continue to do. Doesn't matter. Across the board, everyone, everybody, you need to take care of yourself. You must take care of yourself. That's going to look different for everybody. Some people do not have time. Some people do not have time to take care of themselves. They don't have the day off. So that's going to have to look different. It's going to have to look different for you if that's the situation you're in. It's going to look different for every single individual because no one's situation is the same. So please hear me. I am not talking airy, fairy, head in the clouds stuff here. I am in complete acknowledgement that not everyone's situation is the same. So people are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Some people are struggling. They don't know how they're going to put food on the table for their children tonight. That is the truth. That is the reality. And what I'm hoping that we are doing is building a better reality so that that situation no longer exists for anyone. But on some way, on some level, maybe when you're sitting on the bus, maybe those 2 minutes before you fall asleep at night, come into your heart, come into that space, listen to your guidance, feel yourself as divinely guided and beloved and held. Give yourself a break. Please give yourself a break. Maybe all you can do is just give yourself a break from the really aggressive thoughts that you think about yourself. The criticism that you are laying on yourself. Or someone else's criticism that you've taken on. Please, please let it go. Let it go. Find some space. Please find some space this week. And if you can't find the space in your schedule, you can't find the space in your day, then find the space in your heart. Because self-love is really divine love. Self-love is really allowing. It's pulling back that resistance and allowing yourself to be loved. I'll be talking to you soon.